Hello, Panther fans. Thanks for joining us on the Off Script podcast. Kevin Wheeler, Casey Garrow, and new head women's basketball coach, Lance White. Lance, thanks for joining us here today and taking some time out of, obviously, the busy day, getting in last night and get your morning rolling with us.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited to be here, and what an incredible honor to have this program entrusted into me, and I'm so excited about the future of Pitt women's basketball.
Coach, you already had your breakfast, Pamela's. You're already ingrained in the culture here. What did you think of your first kind of Pittsburgh experience?
Oh, my goodness. The city is just such an amazing city. And whenever my family, flew in last night and then drove into, and, you go underneath that tunnel and then come out in the rivers in the city. And, it's just an incredible place. And then this morning driving in, into campus and seeing the cathedral, I got to meet Kat for the first time. How exciting is that? And, I'm just really excited about the future and things that we're going to be able to do here.
What was it like interacting with your family throughout this process? Once the feelers were put out there by Pitt and then the discussion started, what was that like for you?
It was really surreal. And, again, one of the best things about it is it happened so quickly, and to be honest is I'm somebody who's always just grind. And, I just love my job. And I was extremely happy at Florida State and the things that we were able to do. But, they called me on Friday and offered me the job on Tuesday. So, it's been a whirlwind and all the emotions with my family. My wife is completely supportive of any endeavor that we choose to do. And so as soon as we heard Pitt and we started researching a little bit about it, and they check so many of the boxes that are really important to me and my family. And I've got two 12-year-olds that are juiced and excited to, start this new thing in a new city. And there's snow outside. How crazy is that? It's April and there's snow. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, you're not used to that, right?
We wanted him to see all the seasons.
Thank
so we're going to get snow, hopefully some spring right away.
It'll be beautiful. My wife is fired up. She loves it. And so it's really been a great morning and, a great start to an incredible journey.
Coach, what are going to be some of the challenges? You go from associate head coach and assistant coach. You have the experience. What are going to be some of the challenges you face as a head coach in leading this program?
Well, again, I'm extremely Coach Sue at Florida State allowed me to do so much in our program, and she prepared me for this moment. And, and I'm really excited to, they always talk about that 6 inches from that assistant coaching spot to that head coach is a completely different feel. And so there will be a lot of new challenges, new things that I haven't ever had to do before. But recruiting's the same, basketball's the same, and and so now it's just some of those other things that I haven't had to worry about as much, and marketing and administration, some of that Coach Sue did an amazing job, for our program. But it is. I'm so excited about the opportunity, and it will be. I get to put my stamp on my own program, and and take what I've learned over 20-something years, and now put it into my own program. So I'm really excited about that.
You mentioned that 6 inches of space, so to speak, between the two seats. How are you going to approach that process now that you're able to kind of put your stamp on something and build something of your own?
Yeah, and that is, so much of my values and core values have aligned with the people that I've worked for. I've been extremely selective, and, I've been at two spots. My wife always laughs, that she married a coach and she thought we were going to bounce around, and that's kind of the coach's life. And, and I've been in Lubbock, Texas, and Tallahassee, Florida. And so I've been extremely selective about who I align myself with. And now I want the same for my staff. And, and my core values aren't going to change. The way I run my program will be similar to the two programs that I've been a part of, and with some tweaks of my own, and see if it works. And I'm really excited about doing that, and I'm ready. And Pitt just offered me a great opportunity to do it in an awesome city and a great institution. So I'm really excited about that.
And you get to stay within the ACC.
Oh.
That has to be a great advantage. You saw the sign coming in. You're like, I'm familiar with this. I got this.
It is. You're familiar with players. You're familiar with coaching styles and the way different teams play. And you're familiar with what type of athletes and players you have to have in your student athletes to compete at this level. It's a different mindset. It's a different body. And, and I have to recruit to that. And I think all my years in the ACC have prepared me to do that. I'm so excited to get on the road and, find young women who are ready to start this endeavor with me and challenge them to go be, our goal is to be a top 15 program. We don't want to be a great team. We want to be a program where year after year we have players that are all fighting and doing everything we can to stay at the top of the nation.
You mentioned Coach Sue down at Florida State. Next to her for 15 years, and she called you, and I want to get this right, everybody, a great teacher and strong connector. And I'm curious, what does it take to hone those two skills? And then what do you do to apply those to the student athletes that you're going to interact with that are already here and ones that you'll recruit here?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always, Coach Sue and Coach Sharp at Texas Tech, both of them, felt with the philosophy of, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And, and I believe that wholeheartedly, is that I can't push an athlete, I can't challenge an athlete if they don't truly believe in what I'm doing and I don't have a relationship with them. And then once I have a relationship, then I can get after them and I can really challenge them to meet the standard that I'm going to set for them. And it's going to be hard and challenging, but if they have a relationship and they know that I care, again, we're in basketball practice for 2 hours a day. There's 22 other hours that something is going on in that kid's life that is not about basketball. And so how do I interact with that so that then I can make them the best basketball player I can? And so that's my philosophy. I will work on that every day. But relationships in everything. It's recruiting. It's in how I deal with administration, my staff, is that those relationships are what's going to be the cornerstone of what we do.
And you mentioned those relationships. I got the chance to go to breakfast this morning, which was wonderful.
Lucky you, by the way.
Not only because of the pancakes, but your wife mentioned how important family is to you within not only your immediate family, but your program is your family. Yeah. And I thought that was a great take. She mentioned they'll be at the team meeting today. Yeah. So just expand a little bit on that, how that is also your approach.
Yeah, I've never, you see so many coaches that are just coaches, and that's all their life. They watch film 24 hours a day. They just are watching it on TV. That's not me. Is that I've always wanted a balance of, and been able to incorporate my two worlds, which is my family and basketball at the highest level. And if I can't merge those two, then I'm going to always feel guilty about how to how do I manage that and all of that work-life balance. And so I've just got to mush them all together, and with my staff, with my players, with administration, everybody that I'm in contact with, we've got to be one unit. And if my kids are running around the gym and my wife is involved in every aspect of it, then I'm a better coach and a better teacher. And, and so much of, whenever I look dads and mom in the eye in the recruiting process, it's the same as what I would want for my kids, is that I'm going to tell them I'm going to treat your daughter fairly and I'm going to take care of her, but I'm going to love her throughout this whole process. And, and that's all I want, is I want my kids to be with people and surrounded by people who are going to be honest with them and tell them the truth, challenge them, but love them every step of the way and make sure that they're taken care of. And that's a huge responsibility. It's, as a dad, that's what I do with my kids, and discipline's hard. And every day, are they going to do it just because I tell them to? No, it's going to be every day, and hopefully by the time they gain more maturity, they're going to do it. And same with our athletes, is that I'm going to tell them to do certain things and teach them how to do certain things, but I got to meet them where they are, and that's something that is really fun and exciting and challenging and frustrating and all of those things, but it's what will they be once they leave my program, is after the end of that 4 years, are they equipped for life? And again, in the women's game, very few have the opportunity to make tons of money and go pro and all that stuff. It's about what happens after those 4 years, and have we given them life skills to then be able to be successful and great producers in society.
Well, now that we know your philosophy behind coaching, what are some of the first few things that you're going to do as soon as you get into that office, nose to the grindstone type of thing?
Well, it's been an overwhelming couple of days, and and it really has been, and it's so many things that that have to happen, and there's 200 and something text messages and phone calls that I've got to get to, but again, it's about relationships, and my number one priority is the players that we have. And I've got to build those relationships, and that's where it's got to start. And then I've got to get a staff as right now me and Bree are kind of the two people staff that is going, okay, we got to go recruit this weekend and we got to go. So it's some of those things, and everything else will fall into place if I can get a staff and feel great about these kids that are here and who chose Pitt that didn't choose me. And so that's got to be my first recruiting mission, is to sell those kids on me and allow them to have a chance now to take a chance and let's go do some really cool things.
And you mentioned, selling them on you. Yeah. I'm sure fans would love to hear a little bit more about you.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What
type go there.
What type of player were you back in your day?
Man, there was one game we're playing in. Again, I'm from a small town in Texas, Spur, Texas, population 1,000, maybe 2 today. We'll have to go make sure no one passed away or nobody was born today. But so we've so small town, and again, not a lot to do, and so I would spend hours out on the basketball court and thought I was it. And then reality hit where I'm probably a little too slow, and couldn't do all that stuff. So, but 3-point shooting, there was one game that I had 8 threes because I could shoot it. I couldn't defend nobody. And so that was about it. But that quickly was put to bed, and I had to figure out another way to be involved in athletics, as I knew I had to coach, and it was just a part of me. And again, growing up out in Texas, during the summers, you would either hoe cotton or you would spray cotton. And just for some of you who don't know what that is, it's like you go out all day and you just are in the hot sun and just awful. So I quickly knew that was not the path for me. My dad tried to get me in to show animals and FFA, and knew that was not the path for me. So I knew I had to find another path that did not deal with that kind of work, and so basketball became my vehicle.
I can relate to the 8 threes and no defense. Similar when I played.
I can't relate to any of it.
Coach would tell me to go cut somebody off. Well, help's there. They'll get them.
Rely on the help.
I'm open on the 3. Come on, give me the ball.
In the corner, just waiting.
Right, just waiting. That's all you got to do. Then we can score more points than them. And it's so funny because my basketball philosophy is totally different than the way I played. So I don't ever need the players to watch film or anything. Coach, what is that? What kind of get down in a stance? Move those feet. Let's go.
That's the opposite. It's the opposite of what you would tell them to do.
Exactly. So. Rebound, defense. That's where we're going to start it. And I'm like, we better not watch any of that film.
Who was No, I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
Oh, no worries.
Who was the biggest influence basketball personality? This could be a coach or a player that you try to emulate, things like that. Where did your basketball philosophy come from?
Yeah, and again, Coach Sharp at Texas Tech took a huge chance on me. I wrote her a letter and said, "Can I come hang around your program?" And she allowed me to do that. That was back in 1993, and she did everything: washed clothes, to sweep the floor, to rebound for everybody, and then I had the amazing opportunity to, that was the year we had Cheryl Swoops and we won a national championship. And so first time I'd ever been on an airplane was whenever she took me to Missoula, Montana for the regional. And, and it was just an amazing experience to be a part of that. And, I always tell the joke, that first time, this is the first time I'd ever been a part of college athletics, and I had no idea. And we go win the national championship. I'm on the front row and getting to watch them, run up and down and go, this is easy. How do you just get a great player and let her play and, all that stuff. And then I've spent the last 25 years trying to emulate that success. And it was an amazing start. But Coach Sharp taught me everything about basketball, of how to, really develop fundamentals and how to coach. And then Coach Sue at Florida State, the same, that she taught me how to recruit and how to motivate players and get players to buy in and build something great. And so those two people are my mentors. They're the ones that, that have really showed me how to coach and teach, and that's why I'm here today.
Well, you mentioned basketball is the vehicle for you, and it sounds like it's taken up a majority of your life. But what would you be if you weren't a basketball coach? Obviously, you wouldn't have gone the path your father trying to push you
I
towards.
was getting out of the small town and out off the farm. Yeah, I couldn't do the farm labor. I don't think I'm tough enough, and so I had to quickly get out of that. And I always wondered what would happen. I originally went to school to be a physical therapist, and then basketball kind of took me back into this world. But also, my second one is a movie critic. We can get off on that.
Boy.
Yeah, I can watch some movies and TV. I'm a TV junkie, so it's just awful.
I don't know how you find time, but
Yeah.
Well, that's my release of just so then you get away from basketball. It is so funny. So usually like Netflix and all that stuff, I have a 3-season minimum, and so anything beyond 3 seasons, I can't. That's too much of my time.
Too much.
Because then I just start purging and
Yeah.
going through that. But after this year, and I was a little disappointed in the way we finished our season, so I decided to watch Homeland. Well, that's 7 seasons.
Oh man, an undertaking.
That is 70 hours of my life. Or even more than that, because there's 12 seasons. I'm on season 6, and I'm about to see
you're committed.
Wow.
And so that's how I, is airplanes and some of that stuff. You just purge them through. But,
Yeah.
yeah, Game of Thrones. The TV. I just love it. Reality. Oh.
Well, you're recruiting. You're going out and recruiting tomorrow, so you
I
can
know.
that can
Exactly.
be your release while you're on the road.
Yeah.
I think I'll have a few things to do.
Yeah, that's true. You might have some players to
I'm
look at.
afraid, that cell phone right now is going to be my lifeline and best friend. But yeah, no. So and again, whenever you recruit, it's so interesting what we do, and is that again, whenever I'm recruiting 13 to 14-year-old girls, like I've got to be up on the latest of
That's true.
what is the most important thing in their life, and it is so that's what I call it research.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's research.
It's research.
Yeah,
exactly right.
So you are doing work on the plane tomorrow if you're
Thank
watching
you.
a little bit of your shows.
Homeland, I'm a little. No, it might not. I might have to go to.
That might
some
not
other,
relate
I
to
know.
Yeah, that
13
might
and
not relate as
14-year-olds.
much,
Right,
so you might have to
right,
research some other
right.
shows. But
Exactly. But yeah, that's what. So most of that is like it's research. Yeah.
You're in a good town for the movies, though. They come here all the time, obviously, and maybe we'll get Lance White on a set sometime.
Oh,
Yeah.
That would
critiquing
be awesome.
movie critic.
Thank you. I could be like that would be good.
Before we go, now that you're bringing up the movies, I think we need to know what's your favorite film of all time.
Oh man, so many. Shawshank Redemption's always like one that.
Every time it's on TV, I have to watch it through.
Yep.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
stuck there
Yep.
like
Right.
4 hours.
Yeah, exactly right. I can always go for a girl flick, and chick flicks are great. And I can do
Favorite chick flick?
I'm old school, so it's like Pretty Woman.
Oh, well, those are
all that
classics.
Julia
Yeah.
Roberts, and so I always told my wife is there's only one you get that one person that if you meet them, and that's Julia.
Yeah.
It'd be like, well, me and Danny Motor will move him out of the way, and but that's that. And she goes, all right, no, never mind. And she controls my the banking, and so she always says is that if anything were to happen to her, the lights would go off because I know nothing.
But I heard you do all the cooking, so it's a great balance.
True that. I can do that. Yeah. We can. So we
there'd be
make a
food
great
on the
team.
table,
But yeah. So that's about. Yeah, y'all probably know too much about me now. I'm a little nervous.
Oh
No,
no, this is
Gonna
great.
happen now, but yeah, no, and again with I love all movies. It's just crazy. I just love them.
Well, now we know that we can do a cooking show
Right.
with Coach.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can do a movie critic show here, and it's just going to be
And I guess basketball. I guess
Right,
we should
maybe
touch,
a little
Oh.
bit.
we should
of
touch
that.
upon it.
Well, it's the off season, so we can kind
Yeah.
of save basketball for when it's
Yeah.
strictly business time. But
Yeah.
Yeah. We can learn a jump shot. How is your jumper? Is it?
well, you're gonna have to critique it. It's
Okay.
been a while since I've gotten out there, but
we got some work to do.
I could
yeah.
rely on it.
Yeah,
I think.
we might need some
You can
training.
come with us, and we'll all get to work together. That'd be perfect.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I need a good coach, absolutely. So I can go to Trees Hall and start messing with the intramural basketball teams up here.
Yeah.
All right, Panther fans, thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Off Script here with our new head women's basketball coach, Lance White. Signing off for Coach White and Casey Garrow, I'm Kevin Wheeler. Thanks again, and hail to Pitt.